On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at the YouTube channel called SingIt Live, and they're going to be performing Beat It. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, with this particular analysis, I didn't realise, but this is the sister channel to the channel that we looked at on Sunday, and this one is called SingIt Live. Now, this was a totally separate request, so hence I didn't get the connection, but we're going to have a look at it in exactly the same way that we do with all of the analysis videos, so we'll jump into it and see what we can see. So I have, as always, isolated the vocal, run it through the pitch monitoring software, so we can see what's going on, and this is going to be their performance of Beat It, so let's have a listen.
They told her, don't you ever come around here. Don't wanna see your face, you better disappear. The fire's in their eyes and the words are really clear. So beat it, just beat it, beat it. You better and you better do what you can. Don't wanna see no but don't be a macho man. You wanna be tough, better do what you can. So beat it, but you wanna be bad, just beat it.
So I'm just going to jump in here because, I mean, the first thing that you will hear if you have sensitive ears is this processing sound. And that's happening because this vocal is actually being pitch corrected. But what I will say is that it's not really over the top in terms of being stuck on these lines all the time, but you can just hear the processing going on. So you will start to see just, you know, this kind of thing as well, A sharp 4 directly stuck over that line. But again, just having a little look through, you know, just coming up and touching the F sharp 4 and being centralized over the D sharp 4 there, we have got this calibration, and the D sharp 4 here, the more you look at it, the more you start to see it, this calibration to A440 standard pitch. And you'll start to hear that it is like we are on rails, but it's like we've got this finite value where, for example, have a listen. It's like at the end of every line, the note is going to be exactly on. And I'm just going to zoom in actually on this because when we start looking at it in a lot of detail, like this, you'll see how, if I can actually get it on screen, we've got this little hook here. And this is the pitch that is being aimed for, or at least with pitch correction is being dragged to. And you can see the way that we just get over the top of it before then coming back down again, because the vocal then descends in range. But as we look here, you can see that we come down here, we go up, and again, it's just that little point above the line before then coming down again. If I move this across, have a look here, this same point is just going above the line and coming down. So because it's been given this value and has really been snapped to the line, that when the sound increases in pitch and then decreases, it's such a sudden drop off that it gives it that mechanical sound. Especially here right at the end, the A sharp 4, where in reality that's a bit of a throwaway line, and because it's been given a destination, it's going to be so precise and it's going to sound mechanical, because being more of a throwaway line but just happen to be landing exactly on A440 standard pitch equal temperament will always sound a bit weird. I just let it run on a bit.
Doesn't matter who's wrong or right, just beat it. Beat it. Just beat it. Just beat it.
Prime example there. So what I'm going to do is take this back, because these beat its are quite throwaway, or at least they should be. But have a listen to this.
Beat it.
I'm going to play that again.
Beat it.
And I'm going to play the first one.
Beat it.
So I'm going to play that again because, believe it or not, those were different beat its. So this is the first one.
Beat it.
And this is the second one.
Beat it.
So those were two different takes of singing Beat It. But I know that you're going to say, well, that sounds absolutely identical. There's no change in those two. But why is that? Those notes have been given that destination, so it doesn't really matter if the singer was sharp or flat, because they are going to be directly over the line. Didn't really pick it up here, but you can tell by the sound that when we work our way through it, and you can actually see it's directly over that C#5 there, and I don't know whether it picked it up, and all we get, oh yeah, here we go. So directly over the C#5. This is why it sounds mechanical. And even though I would say this hasn't been applied really heavy-handedly, it is more than enough to make it sound mechanical and just stand out as pitch corrected. And just as a bit of a comparison, let's listen to the original Michael Jackson's voice and see what he sounds like and whether it sounds like exactly the same vocal twice.
Feel it.
That's the first one.
Feel it. Feel it. Feel it.
I mean, you can clearly hear the second time the it is flat. He's a lot flatter than he was the first time round. And this is what happens when you don't have pitch correction. You get, obviously, the natural version of the voice that is always going to have variation in it. As I always say, you can't sing over your vocal lines. And more often than not, you can hear the difference between one take of a vocal and another take of a vocal. And this is exactly what we've got here.
Feel it. Feel it.
Yeah, so, yeah, noticeable difference between that. And let's just, again, go back to the first one.
Beat it. Beat it.
So there we go. I mean, it really is night and day. To the point where you could argue that this one, the pitch corrected version, sounds copied and pasted. It is that similar. There's no freedom in the vocal. It has predetermined points that it is going to hit. So it's going to hit exactly the same pitch. It's going to sound copied and pasted. But this is what happens when you put it through the same process, because you're giving it to a computer and you're telling the computer, okay, right, the value is C#5. A440 standard pitch equal temperament. It takes that information and says, okay, here you go, here's the result. And then you give it another vocal and say, okay, now it's the same output we want. A440 standard pitch equal temperament. The computer says, okay, and it'll give you exactly the same thing. And when I say the computer's doing it, this isn't auto-tune or live auto-tune, this is pitch correction. So somebody's done this after the live performance. And now again, whether you want to call it live or not is up to you, or whether you think it should be called live or not, considering that it has been post-edited. Especially from a pitch perspective, we're hearing something that actually didn't happen. But again, whether you class that as live or not, that you still class live as having post-edited elements to it, again, that's up to you. But I've been asked to look at this and I'm just telling you what is happening. I mean, it's amazing when you look out for it, the way that we just always go just over the top of the line, just over the top of the line, just over the top of the line. It's so regular now. Obviously, I pointed that out earlier, but I didn't know that it was going to be maybe an insight into how the pitch correction is being applied. But I just want to have a quick listen to Michael's voice.
You better leave while you can. Don't wanna be a boy, you wanna be a man.
Okay, I mean, the first thing to point out is listen to the attitude and the way that Michael is leaning into this and putting that expression into the vocal. And because he's doing that, guess what happens?
You better leave while you can.
Look at his pitch here. I mean, we spot on the A#4 there momentarily, but here we're kind of halfway above the A#4, then below and above and below, and then we're between notes, and now we're so sharp here and here that we are halfway to the next note. So this is out of key, this is out of tune, but does it sound it? No, because we're listening to the expression. Let's listen again.
You better leave while you can. Don't wanna be a boy, you wanna be a man.
So, and again, here, this was actually sharp as well. So he then comes back down and pretty much nails that on the A sharp 4. Here, I mean, look, again, we're between notes here. So this is as far away from this A4 as you can get before then getting into G sharp 4 territory or A flat 4 territory. So it means that he's drifting so far, and here, again, between notes, and then he's absolutely bang on the A sharp 4 again. But the point is, the main objective is expression, and the byproduct of that is pitch. If you nail the expression, it doesn't matter where the pitch is. As you can see, you can be between notes, but you're still going to connect, and the vocal's still going to make sense. What I also did was, because I thought, right, well, this person sent me this, let me watch another one of their videos in order to, maybe they've just sent me that one because it's the only one that uses pitch correction. So then I looked to the next suggested video, and this was obviously from the same channel, Sing It Live, but this is You Should Be Dancing, Bee Gees. So, and it's a different singer as well, so we can see what's going on here.
My baby moves at midnight.
And immediately we start over this G4, A4.
Goes right down to the dawn.
And a little bit flat here and in between notes here.
A woman takes me higher.
And again here, maybe a little bit sharp at the F4.
My woman keeps me warm.
Oh, they're male backing vocals, by the way, if you wonder what went on there.
What you doing on your back?
Yeah, and now we're starting to get, again, a little bit over the top with pitch correction. So this is pitch corrected as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And here, maybe a little bit sharp, but kind of 4 in a row there.
What you doing on your back?
I mean, this kind of thing, again, it's just been applied too heavily because you get this kind of thing, just a tiny little notch that's kind of perfectly over the line, having already been perfectly over the line.
Yeah.
And now it hasn't been ridiculously applied in terms of, maybe minimizing her vibrato or anything like that. She's still got that vocal technique and ability that's been left in there, but it's just these held notes that are just being, again, dragged over the lines. So, full disclosure, I had finished my video on Sing It Live, and just in the process of going over to YouTube, I then saw a video that was suggested, uploaded a couple of days ago by Sing It Live, because of course the algorithm's now going to suggest another video, and it was them actually performing live. So they were actually performing Boys of Summer. So what I did was a quick analysis of that and take the vocal, run it through the pitch monitoring software, because this is from an actual live performance and it was uploaded a couple of days ago. So I just want to let this play through. I have isolated the vocal, run it through the pitch monitoring software.
Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air, the summer's out of reach. Empty lake, empty street, the sun goes down.
Okay, so with this vocal, I mean, you can see that we're pretty much over the lines here. And I don't think this is a post-processed vocal. This sounds a little bit more like live auto-tune. So we have this more processed sound, but just, how much we are over these lines. I mean, the processed sound is always the giveaway. I'll just let it play on.
I'm driving by your house, going on home.
And of course, because this is a very modern auto-tune, it's not going to be directly over the lines all the time, because that's something they're trying to write out of the processor or the programming so that you can put in just a differential to how accurate you want to be, being over the lines all the time. Even though it still happens way too much, how it used to happen was even worse than way too much. But anyway, let's listen on.
I can see your brown skin shining in the sun. You got your head pulled back.
Okay, yeah, there we had a little bit of an auto-tune flip. Listen to it again.
You got your head pulled.
It's almost going, hand, you got your hand. It kind of goes up in stages.
Got your head pulled back, sunglasses on, baby. Nothing tell you my love for you.
And again there, we had a little bit of a snap. Yeah. So again, it's kind of got confused on the way down and is trying to snap it to a note. But this is the thing, because auto-tune comes in so quickly, the onset of it, if you stay for a split second on a pitch that you don't want, it'll try and snap it there, and then you obviously move down to the F sharp 4.
I feel we'll still be strong.
Oh, and we had another little kind of wobble here. And here, I'm not sure whether he would have sung that flat, but it did get snapped to the A4. You're strong, 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 strong. Yeah, so it went a semitone there rather than a tone. And we had, I mean, that was a bit of a weird wobble. Let's listen to that. You know, very quickly, I mean, that would normally be vibrato going, ah, nice and even, but not this, you know, jagged or this quickly. Yeah, it's almost like you're doing it on a keyboard. That's actually exactly what it's doing. That's what the programming is set to. And again, yeah, we had another point here, which it snapped to the wrong place. Gone. So again, it's gone down to the semitone below there. So yeah, we're getting lots of points here, which the auto-tune's kind of getting snapped. But anyway, the reason I wanted to put this in is because I hadn't seen any live stuff and it just popped up. So I thought, well, if they're actually playing live, I might as well jump into the vocal of that and see what's happening. And again, instrumentally, this is all going to be live. They're not miming. They're not pretending to play live. They are playing live. But this sounds very much like live auto-tune that's being used on the vocal. So yeah, you do get these flips when it doesn't know which note to snap it to. And again, I'm not saying that, you know, the singers who do these performances can't sing. I'm just saying what is being used. So it's not having a go at anybody. But I was requested to take a look at the YouTube channel and the videos, the ones that have been more produced and have different angles, all that kind of stuff. And this one popped up as a live performance. So I thought in the name of objectivity, I would look at a live performance as well to see what is going on. So there you have it. Anyway, thank you guys for requesting this video in the first place. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Keep those requests for future videos coming in the comments section below. And I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!